Hello. Yesterday I posted a little picture of me and my boys reading and coloring in my awesome coloring book Bible, which I love and I always talk about. But that does not happen very often. That's the first time I've ever let them color a whole thing with me. As you can see how lovely it turned out. But man, it's hard for me to let go of control. But as I was reading that story, it just reminded me so much of my fascination with the story of the Valley of Dry Bones in the book of Ezekiel in the Bible, chapter 37. And it's, as I read it again with the boys yesterday, it hit me in a new way. So I thought I would share a little bit about that. As kind of a person who loves science and that kind of thing, this image of God breathing life and bringing these dry bones back to life was so fascinating to me as a child. I had this little Bible that had some pictures in it, and there was pictures of that, and I just remember like that was my favorite thing. What an odd thing for a child to have. I never really did things the normal way, but anyways, so my favorite story as a child was the Valley of the Dry Bones, because I just thought it was so fascinating and interesting. And as I was sharing this with my boys, my oldest was, I could see his wheels turning. He was super fascinated as well. And he's just like, wow, and imagining like the bones coming together and the muscles coming on and their bodies were there, but they weren't alive. And then the spirit breathed life and they came back to life. And just like thinking through all the parts, he was kind of reviewing it after we talked about it, and it was very sweet because it reminded me so much of myself when I was younger, and just purely loved it for the fact of fascination and just a bizarre Ezekiel. God did a lot of bizarre things through the prophet Ezekiel, and so that was one of the most fascinating ones in my opinion. So anyways, as I was reading this to the boys yesterday, it hit me, like I said, in a new way, and I'll read the part he talks about at the end of the story when they've finished they brought the bones back to life. Then they say, God says to Ezekiel, that these bones represent the people of Israel. And then he explains that further. So he says in chapter 37, verse 11, they are saying, the people of Israel, we have become old, dry bones, and all hope is gone. Our nation is finished. Therefore prophesy to them and say, this is what the sovereign Lord says, O my people. I will open your graves of exile and cause you to rise again. Then I will bring you back to the land of Israel. When this happens, O my people, you will know that I am the Lord. I will put my spirit in you, and you will live again and return home to your own land. Then you will know that I, the Lord, have spoken, and I have done what I said. Yes, the Lord has spoken. So it's a message of hope. And what is more powerful than watching God just speak life into literal dead bones? And I love that because I'm such a literal person. So I think maybe that's the reason why I attached to this story, because it's literally God breathing life and bringing them back to life. And then he says, this represents, the people of Israel, that I can breathe life back into them. And they were hopeless, and they were exiled, and they were just feeling like this is it, our life is blech. And I think a lot of us get in that point, and hope has always been a tricky thing for me, feeling like life doesn't always turn out exactly how I expect. And in my early 30s, I really struggled with that a lot. Late 20s, early 30s, just feeling like, man, I just don't have a lot of hope for what my future is going to look like. And that's because I was looking at it, and I've probably said this before, I was looking at it from my own sense of control and what I can do with my life. And it's really awesome to remember that God can do so much more. and my life has turned out completely different, unexpected than what I would have pictured. I did not picture moving to China. I did not picture moving to Arizona or Nebraska or any of those things. But here I am, and I'm very thankful for where I'm at in my life and the hope that I have now in the Lord. And so I'm trying to pass on that concept of hoping in God and what He has and not what we have to my boys, so that they can have hope too when all feels lost. And I hope that I can pass some of that hope on to you. So this hopefully is like an encouragement that you can put your hope in the Lord even when things feel hopeless, and He can breathe life. He can speak life into any situation, no matter how far and impossible it might feel. So I hope that's an encouragement to you today. All right, bye.